Hi, welcome back to Stickletown. This is Monday, so it's the second week of the pantry challenge, and typically Martin put a note on the fridge to say he needed biscuits, or cookies as they're known across the pond. I did point out to him, I said the other week when we were out shopping, have you got enough biscuits, because we're not going to be going shopping until the end of February again. Any grocery shopping, that is. And he goes, yeah, I've got enough. Well, 1 week in and he's out. So he said, oh, can you go and pick me some up tomorrow? And I said, no, we're not, because we're supposed to be on a pantry challenge and we're only 1 week in and already you're wanting stuff from the shops. So I have to make him some biscuits. And all my cooking books at the moment have been dumped in the other room because the things were moved around in the kitchen. Anyway, I've got this set of, it was a part work that used to come, I don't know if it was monthly or fortnightly or whatever, and it was just each issue had different cakes, and they sent you bits of baking equipment as well. And in issue 2 I have found chocolate trio cookies. So I'm making these up for Martin. He's out at the chiropractor this evening. We've spent all day collecting the last of the Christmas trees. He's out at the chiropractor, so I thought, right, while he's out, I'll do a bit of baking. Oven is on, warming up. Now I have, let me tilt you down. I'll tell you now, I'm not the best baker in the world, and it's not something I really enjoy doing. Right. Here we go. Oops, got a jar in the way. I picked this recipe because I've got everything in the pantry that I needed to make it. I've already creamed together the butter and the sugar, and now adding eggs. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence. There's some of our homemade vanilla essence. I need to get this bottle used up. I've got another bottle ready. Here we go. So 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence. And what does it say? I've already melted down the dark chocolate as instructed. So there we go. So it says to add the melted chocolate. I've got 3 dogs standing here watching me, all hoping for a bit. And then we stir in the milk and the white chocolate. I've still got lumps of sugar and butter there, so I'm going to beat that again. I'll never make it on Bake Off. There we go, I'll take that will do. I'm sure however they come out, they'll be fine. I'm not a great biscuit eater myself, so but Martin does. He does like his biscuits. His favourite is chocolate, plain chocolate McVitie's biscuits, and I have actually found a copycat recipe So I've taken out some buttermilk from the freezer because it uses buttermilk, and I'm defrosting that. Martin goes away, he's working away tomorrow night. So I thought I might have a go at making them while he's away. Right, so we stirred in these. Take that off. There's a lot of chocolate in these cookies. Right, so we stir those in and then fold in the flour and cocoa powder, or cocoa is what I'm using. As I said, I chose this recipe because I had all the ingredients to hand. And it seemed fairly straightforward to do. So that's all got to be folded in. So it's self-raising flour, cocoa, there's milk chocolate chips, white chocolate chips, brown sugar, plain chocolate which is melted, and butter. And then I think it's just dollops put onto baking trays, and then they're popped in the oven, which I've got warming up. So by the time Martin comes back, he's also making a meat delivery while he's out. A customer, well, 2 customers. So yeah, it's been a busy few days, so yes, he does deserve a few biscuits. Right, I think that's right. It looks about right for a cookie dough to me. Right, drop dessert spoons. Dessert spoon out. Right, let me take you over to my trays. Right, I've prepared my trays. I've got I think that's too much. It does say this, there we go, you see I'm getting in a mess. This is why I don't like baking, because it is messy. Right, I've put greaseproof paper down on my trays. It says leave a space between them because they do spread. Maybe through this challenge I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and do more baking and sort of maybe get to grips with it all a bit better. I can do basic things, I don't mind doing basic things. So it's not something I particularly enjoy doing. Now I have got a daughter, my youngest daughter, who loves baking, and she bakes for the cafe that she works at. So she absolutely loves it, and I believe her daughter is getting into it as well. So my granddad, he was a baker in a bakery, and he used to make wedding cakes. So there's obviously something in the family for bakers, but it's just not my thing at all. Now, I'm going to have to cook in 2 batches, I think, because these are not all going to fit on these trays. So who'd have thought, week 2 of the pantry challenge, and we are already running out of something. We've already run out of something. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. But as it's only him that eats biscuits, I might have the odd one, but they're not usually my thing. And I thought we might have been a bit more clued up. Anyway, I'm going to get these in the oven now, and we'll come back when they're done. Right, the first batch out of the oven, so I'm just popping them onto a cooling tray. I've got 2 more trays I've just popped into the oven. I could only find 3 trays, so I'll have to do them in 2 batches. But they look alright, I suppose. And once they've cooled down and firmed up, I'm sure Martin, when he comes in, will have a taste and let me know what he thinks. While I was putting the ingredients away in the pantry, there was 3 packets of chocolate bourbons sitting there. So he has got some biscuits, he just hasn't seen them. Anyway, I'll come back to you again in a minute. Right, tonight's dinner, it's Tuesday. I'm doing a pork loin, which has been sitting in a red Chinese glaze. And today it's now in the oven roasting. It's not raw, it is just the redness of the glaze. So, we're having that. Along with, it's bitterly cold here today, bitterly cold. I'm just frying up the last of the mushrooms from out the fridge, some of the onions. I've got some peppers there that I've pulled out the freezer are going in as well. The pack of noodles that were sitting in the freezer, so they're going in. And I'm just going to add some coconut aminos, Chinese 5-spice, salt and pepper, and then that will go with the pork tenderloin. It's just a very quick, easy dinner tonight. Martin's away tonight, he'll be going away after dinner, and he won't be back until early hours Thursday morning. So I'm just going to crack on with that. He's just out there doing the animals. Like I say, it is bitterly cold out there today. The temperature in the house is 58 degrees, which is sort of fairly normal for us. It's comfortable, you know, we're not freezing, but out there with the wind chill, it was about -12 last time I checked. So yeah, it's going to be a couple of cold few days. We had a bit of snow last night. Went into town this morning, picked up some coal and matches. We needed matches, and I had to pick up the dog's wormer and Poppy's eye drops and all of that. Right, so I'm going to crack on with dinner, so I can have it ready when Martin comes in the door. Now, sitting in the pantry was some dehydrated, I don't know if you can see that sunshine on it, dehydrated sourdough starter. It's been sitting there since February last year. So I've added some water to it. And I'm going to try and get it reactivated. So I'll just give it a bit of a stir. And I'm going to add some flour. And see if it would like to keep going. There we go, give it a bit of a feed. And I should just leave it sitting here in the kitchen in the warm. Hopefully, in a few days, it will be fully activated again and ready to go. Right, tonight we are having a fish chowder. Got a mix of fish and some scallops from out the freezer. And this is a recipe that we use quite often. It's made with some of our own chicken stock, a little bit of rice, some milk. So that will be tonight's dinner. Hi, it's Saturday on the Three Rivers Pantry Challenge, and you'll have to excuse me, I've just come in. I've been cutting up some logs down the field. We're getting ready for the Arctic blast that's coming through next week. Anyway, I have not done a vast amount of videoing this week. I've had lots going on. I've got a kitchen full of washing machines, etc. that have arrived, appliances, so they've been distracting. I've also got, if you can see in there, under the table, little dog staying with me, which again has, with lots of things going on, it's just been throwing together meals, but we have stuck to eating out of the pantry. Last night, as you saw, I did a fish chowder, using up some fish and a fish mix and some scallops that were in the freezer. Tonight we are having, it's not really in keeping with the pantry challenge, but it sort of happened. My grandson, whose little dog belongs to, is away on holiday for 2 weeks, and when he came in the other day to drop the little dog off and he was leaving, he cleared out his fridge and brought us the contents of his fridge, which sort of totally threw my plans out of the window, because this is stuff that needed using up fairly quick, and it's not stuff we would generally buy. So first off is these. Not something I would usually buy at all, and I thought, well, we'll use them, you know, I can move my menu around. I know it's not in keeping with the Three Rivers Challenge because it's supposed to be eating what we got here in store, but I consider my grandson, who lives in his tiny house on our land with his tiny dog and his tiny fridge, really, as I suppose, part of our pantry, although not really in keeping with it. So tonight we're going to have those, get them used up out of the way. The other thing he dropped off was a thing of salad. I was going to go and throw that down into the chickens, and I thought, well, we'll use it tonight with that. There was also a few satsumas. What else was there? Oh, there's some hummus there. Yeah, I think that's about it. And yeah, so I thought, right, tonight we're going to have these with the salad to get that used up out of the way. And I made up a batch of natural yogurt last night. So I'm going to, and I've got a little bit of cucumber left to use. So I'm making up a what's it called? Tataki, cucumber, mint and yogurt to go with the chickpea thingamajigs. And I've also pulled out some of our lamb kofta kebabs. And there's a bit of hummus there as well, so we're going to use that up. So that's what we're going to do tonight, is use up all them bits, get them out of the way. And yeah, so it's not really in keeping with the Three Rivers Challenge because it's food that's been brought in. I suppose I could have froze them. I could have thrown the salad into the chickens, but well, let's just use them, get them out of the way. Oh, that was the other thing he brought. Yeah, I've got avocado and a banana. So yeah. So there was 2 bananas. I had one yesterday. Right, but end of the day, you know, it's not the end of the world. So yeah, I haven't been doing a vast amount of videos this week. There's been lots of other stuff going on. I've now got dogs wanting to go out. Chuck them out. But yeah, we will get back into the swing of it all. Anyway, yeah, today's Saturday, so it's the last day of my week. And is it Saturday? Is today Saturday? Yeah, it is. Checking on the calendar. It is Saturday, so it's the last day of my week. We have, jar-wise, I've taken out 4 jars out the pantry this week. We've taken 4 items out the freezer. I've used 1 fresh item from out the polytunnel. 1 new recipe, which I'm doing tonight. And of course, lots of bits from the pantry. So, yes, we are getting through it. And of course, week 2 really hasn't been of any great difference to us, apart from Martin and his biscuits. I don't know if did I show you them all? Yeah, I must have shown on the video them all baked up. And in fact, I was going to do in some chocolate digestives, but and I still will. But first off, I found half a pack of digestives in the pantry. So I'm going to coat them in some chocolate and bung them in the box, and he can eat them ones first before I make up any other chocolate ones. So I'll do a video tonight showing tonight's throw together dinner of my grandson's leftovers and our bits and pieces. Right, I showed you the digestive biscuits that I found, and I'm now going to attempt to coat them in some chocolate for Martin. So I've just melted some dark chocolate in the double boiler thingamajiggy, whatever you call them. I know this is going to be messy. I'm not very good at baking and doing messy cooking stuff, so I'm just going to scrape some chocolate on. Oops. I know it's going to be messy, and I hate doing the messy stuff. There we are. I'll even do in the little wavy bits on the top. It'll be easier with a fork. I hope he realises what I'm going through here for him, just so he can have his chocolate biscuits. But of course it is using up stuff that's in the pantry. Right, I'm going to carry on coating those, and I'll show you them at the end. Right, the biscuits are coated. Yeah, they don't look too bad. It was a little bit messy, so I'm just leaving the chocolate to set on those now, and then they can go in a biscuit box for Martin. Now there was a bit of chocolate left over, so I peeled a couple of the satsumas and dipped them in chocolate. So these are now just setting, not quite set yet, but Yeah, so one half has been dipped in chocolate and the other half is just satsuma. So I shall enjoy a few of those later on. So I've still got a little bit of the dark chocolate left. I might remelt that tomorrow and add a bit more to it and do a chocolate bark. I shall see. Okay, right, I'm doing my usual keto bread. This is a low carb bread I do for myself. In it so far I've got oat fibre, linseed, natural sweetener, vital wheat gluten. I'm just adding yeast, which has been sitting with a teaspoon of our honey. There's some gum in there as well. Some big nuts, lovely big. And some melted butter. Mix all that together, then I'll switch to the dough hook, leave it until I think it looks ready, pop it in a tin and leave it to rise, then it can go in the oven. I do this bread for myself, and like I've said on many videos before, I then slice it up. I keep it in the freezer and just pull out slices as and when I want some. Martin generally just has normal bread, whatever I bake or whatever he buys in if there's no bread here. He will sometimes have some of this and he doesn't mind it. Just so it only makes a small loaf. And it usually lives in the freezer, and when he wants bread he'll sort of decide last minute that he wants bread. Where's my spatula? I couldn't tell you what the carb content is. I've been doing this bread now for about a year. It's from Keto King, his YouTube channel. And I know it's a recipe by somebody else and he adapted it to sort of suit his needs, and I've adapted it. He leaves it to rise in the microwave and things like that, and I can't be doing mess around with that. So mine just goes above the stove in its pan to rise. That's what I need. Right, that's been kneaded enough, I think. So that's the dough. Just going to shape it a bit. And then I'm going to pop it into its baking tin, which I've pre-greased. And I'm going to leave that, cover it over with my usual shower cap. Little shower cap. So I'm going to cover it over with that and leave it to rise. I'll just leave it sitting there for an hour or so and then come back to it and pop it in the oven. Right, so our Saturday evening dinner is the salad I opened up a jar of the salad tomatoes, and I opened up a jar of our red coleslaw mix, and I've added up some sliced red onion to that. I've made the yoghurt and mint, minted lamb kofta kebabs are from the freezer, and these chickpea fire whatever they're called is what my grandson dropped off from his leftovers in the fridge. So that's our dinner tonight. One from our freezer, 2 from jars, and that's made up with pantry ingredients. The yoghurt, that's a donation, and that's a donation. So thank you very much for watching. That rounds up week 2 of our 3 Rivers challenge. Don't forget to hit subscribe, like, ring the little bell if you want notifications, as next week we're heading into week 3.